Ahoy mateys, welcome to the finals of tournament number 3. So this will determine the winner of the tournament. So unlike the other matchups, this one is intended to be a best of 5. So you'll have to win 3 games out of 5 to win the tournament, and there's a slight chance there will be more than that if some of the results feel fluky, or if any games come down to a decisive rules question that might or might not get overturned, things like that. So overall, best of 5, just to kind of up the stakes and make it more clear, hopefully, which fleet is truly better than the other compared to the best of 3 matchups. So we've got HMS Grand Temple, Universal Pirate Shipping, HMS GT UPS fleet, and the Kill That UPS fleet. So this is a matchup that maybe some people that were familiar with the bracket from the start wanted to see, because we've got a really high-powered Universal Pirate Shipping fleet and a pretty intense anti-UPS fleet. So we'll see which one wins here. And so both fleets kind of represent very different things. The UPS meta and actually getting the most gold in play versus basically a UPS counter fleet that has really proved its mettle by defeating non-UPS fleets in different rounds of the tournament in order to reach the finals. And now they'll face probably their toughest test against one of the best UPS fleets I've seen in HMS GT UPS fleets. I'll probably just call it the GT fleet, or GT for short, for that one. And then the Kill That UPS fleet, I'll probably just call it the Dragon fleet, or Dragon for short. And both fleets have English ships, but I'm gonna go base the colors of the dice on basically the leaders of the fleet, or kind of like the key game piece in each fleet. So HMS GT UPS by default will be the red die, and then black for Angelica, since it's a pirate dragon in the Kill That UPS fleet. So we'll see who goes first in game 1. So, all right, so this one, we'll start with Kill That UPS. So they will be player 1, and so they'll place the first island. They are now going to propose the use of mysterious islands because they would like these Isles of Fire to eliminate treasure and basically try to minimize how much gold the enemy can even access, let alone bring home. So they're gonna vote for those. And the GT fleet, they were not intending to use mysterious islands. They don't really want to, so they're gonna vote against it. And per the way I'm doing it in the tournament, we're gonna roll off to see who gets what they want here. And the anti-UPS fleet gets their roll again. So Dragon fleet, we'll see Isles of Fire get placed and used. So in that case, we'll spread out the islands at the bottom here. So we'll have left to right 1 through 6, basically, for various islands. I'm going to use all the big ones in this, or most of the big ones, I think, of the Gale Force 9 islands in this matchup, probably because it's the finals. So we're going to bring out the most notable, arguably the most notable or prettiest Gale Force 9 islands. So got 1 through 6 left to right, and player 1 will place the first island, so we'll roll a black die for that. We'll place a regular island. So they want islands as far apart as possible to make it take longer for the enemy to get from one island to another. And the GT UPS fleet, on the other hand, wants islands about 4L apart, so that with their Micron assisted Grand Temple, she should be able to get from one island to another in 1 turn with 2 actions at 6S maximum speed. So with that, we're going to see a little battle here with the island terrain meta. And I think to try to have as many islands as far apart as possible, the Dragon fleet's going to start in the southeast corner, way in the corner basically, maybe a tiny bit away, just so if there's a Patagonia there, she can be accessed, or she can at least get out, so she's not trapped in the corner. All right, so go 1 through 5 for this next island roll, and an Isle of Fire will be placed by the GT UPS fleet. Grab my measuring tool here, and let's see where this goes here. So they'll go 4L, probably go straight out northwest. All right, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, they'll go 4L right there. Place it on the long end like that. Now we'll go 1 through 4 with the remaining islands. The third one placed is another regular one. Should have rolled that a little more, but that's all right. So another regular island. This one, we're gonna go 6L. They can do 6L into the southwest. I think they might go with that. So the Isles of Fire have to be wild. They cannot be chosen as home islands. And yeah, so it's 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they can go down here. I think they're going to actually. So it's 4, 5, 6. They're gonna place this island way in the southwest corner. That one, I put it on the edge. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Then ships can go in the corner here. Then this is like blocked off, so you'd have to go around the whole island to get around it. So I think I'll try that. Basically touching the edge of the map. So as usual, flat Earth with a hard boundary. So there's no round Earth, no abyss after the edges or anything like that. So islands now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and GT place their second, which will be another Isle of Fire. This is similar to Game 4 of the last series, where the fleet that didn't want the Isles of Fire ended up placing them. That might actually benefit them a little bit, because they can put them in the middle. So 4L, I think they'll go west. So if they go 4L east from this one, it would be off the map, and then they'd have to start going north. So I think they're going to go 4L here. And yeah, they'll go 4L like that. And I'm going to measure to make sure this one's at 4L, or maybe less, over here. Yeah, that's all right. That's perfect. Basically 4L from each. All right, so now we get to the last round of island placement. 1 through 3, 4 through 6. Dragon fleet is going to place. Okay, so they don't get to place any of their Isles of Fire. That's okay. I mean, they're all in play, and they'll be active. They'll be active islands. Remains to be seen if they'll be active volcanoes as well. So they anticipate this island they're about to place being the enemy home island. I think they're going to go 6L in this one and place it way up here. So that's 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they're going to go right here, kind of on the edge there. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, and now there's only one island left, so no need to roll. This Isle of Fire placed by the GT-UPS fleet, and probably going to put it 4L from the other two, I think, pretty much. Maybe closer, because they see the enemy is placing 6L for everything. They might actually go 3L, because looks like they're going to be the ones that want the closer islands in this matchup overall. So I'm going to be a little farther, go something like that. So that way it's not quite 4L, more like 3L, but that's fine. Alrighty, so that's our island setup. Now we'll go for terrain. So this will be interesting. GT-UPS, they want basically whirlpools and fog banks, and they'd probably like a bunch of them. GT might be able to benefit pretty heavily from whirlpools. They probably want to place at least 2 of those, certainly maybe 3, probably a couple fog banks. They're going to vote 5. Actually, they wouldn't vote, so they're not going first. Let's say that they didn't vote yet. They didn't make it public to the fleet anyway. So player 1 would declare their proposal first. So kill that UPS. They don't really want whirlpools, and they know Angelica can just fly around anyway. So they're going to vote for a low number. They do want reefs, though, seeing that HMS Grand Hubble is in the enemy fleet. The problem is she's pretty maneuverable and potentially pretty fast. So she's probably not going to go over reef on purpose. So they're probably going to only vote for 1 terrain each. That way, if they get their roll, they place a reef, the enemy can't benefit from whirlpools, because there needs to be at least 2 in play to use them, of course. So they're going to vote for 1, and now the GT-UPS fleet, they get to propose. They're still going to propose 5. So we'll see who gets it here. So okay, HMS GT-UPS finally gets a roll here, and we're going to place 5 terrain per player. So altar abuse would still place first. Just gonna display them out here. Probably not gonna see any terrain in that kind of no man's land down there. No man's water, I guess. So they'll start with a reef, and they know they want the enemy to be somewhere over here. They anticipate the enemy placing whirlpools near the potential home island locations. They're going to try to make that choice a little bit harder, or at least kind of knock out some of the sea lanes where they could put whirlpools. So I'm going to place a reef up there by the Dragon Fleet. GTUPS is not going to, I think they will start placing whirlpools. Yeah, they're going to place one here. So if they still have one, if this gets picked as their home island, they'll still have one right there. There's something to be said about the island terrain meta, or basically the terrain meta, where if you start seeding a potential home island location with bad terrain, does that give away your potential positioning too fast? But of course, that being said, the GTUPS fleet, they'll actually pick the enemy home island location first. So, but they're not, I guess they're not too concerned if the enemy fleet can use whirlpools. They don't know what Hyena's crew will look like yet, but they do see, you know, the fleets can see each other's deck plates and ships. So they see the enemy fleet has like Patagonia, Hyena, and Angelica. So, all right. So second round of terrain. Another reef is going to be placed by Dragon Fleet. They're probably going to reef all these potential home island locations to some extent. Yeah, I'll go in one here as well. And GTUPS, they're gonna follow with a whirlpool of their own. Another one, so probably go S away from there, from the island. And third round of terrain, might see the same thing at each potential home island. I mean, yeah, I think they might do that actually. Yeah, they're gonna place a reef here as well. Dragon Fleet places a reef. GTUPS, they want whirlpools. So yeah, since they got their terrain roll with 5 per player, they can basically guarantee that they have access to a whirlpool on the first round, regardless of which island gets picked as their home island. So that's pretty powerful. So see if that terrain roll influences the game a bunch. So they didn't get it. I mean, they do have Hidden Cove too, so it'll just give them more options on which island to potentially hit early on in the first round. So I think it'll be interesting to see the Dragon Fleet go first too. That could be interesting in this game. So it might influence their +5 selections, but I'm not so sure. I think it might actually. It's debatable, but we're not there yet. So that was the third round of terrain. 2 more rounds left. So the Dragon Fleet has to decide on their 4th terrain. They'll probably stick with reefs, I think. There's not much point in putting a Sargasso because they see HMS Grand Temple in the other fleet. They don't really want the enemy fleet to be able to hide in fog. Icebergs are okay, but probably would just get avoided. So probably put a reef between islands here, between wild islands. It's really interesting using the Isles of Fire. I think it makes the island meta a little easier to think about because you know they're going to be wild. So there's only so many choices for home islands. So it's probably a little less complicated in a way. Okay, so that's 4 for them. GTUPS, they still want a whirlpool exit location near the wild islands. So they're going to place this S away from that reef in between so they could get to any of the 3 there. Now we go to the last round for terrain, and probably go with 1 more reef. Yeah, probably all 5 reefs for the Dragon Fleet. I'll go in between again. Yeah, this looks like a good route to block a little bit. I'll block that off a little bit. And then last terrain for GTUPS, they do want a fog bank somewhere. So maybe somewhere in this island chain. I guess they could go here and then it might be on the way home as well. Yeah, I think they're gonna go somewhere like that, pretty much. Yeah, that looks good. In between 2 wilds and potentially on the way to a home island, maybe a little bit, but yeah, that looks okay. so you got 10 train total, and now we'll go to the next part of the setup, which is choosing home islands. So player 2 was HMS GT UPS. They will place a token to determine home island location, player 1. So where do they want the dragon fleet? It's almost, this is an interesting setup. It's almost equally distant. Like each potential home island is kind of a little farther out from this chain's archipelago of wild islands, and each one has a reef and a whirlpool next to it. So it may not really matter too much. I think just to put them as far away as possible, I think this is the farthest one. So I think they'll put them there. I think that's the farthest from any wild island that a potential home island location is at. So we'll place them there, place the ships there. So once again, just like in the last series, this Rye, HMS Rye, is a proxy for the Patagonia in the Dragon fleet to kill that UPS fleet. So they're gonna put her in the north because the other fleet's using Patagonia as well. So not too surprising for a hyper competitive matchup. So all right, yeah, they like that placement there. And then, yeah, they're going first. Yeah, so Hyena could go through that whirlpool right away. I don't know that she will. They're gonna stack the field with a ton of negative UTs. So I think they're probably gonna hold back, I think, but we'll see. And then they're gonna place the enemy. It might not matter too much. It looks like, I feel like this southeastern island is slightly farther overall from the wild island chain. So I guess they'll try that. It's also closer to the enemy home island in case Hyena wants to intercept coming this way without having to use a whirlpool. So that could work. Either way, yeah, I think it's kind of a toss-up there because they're almost equal placements based on the identical terrain at each island, or non-mysterious island, I guess. So place their ships. Actually, they don't have Jolly Mud yet. Forgot about that. She's part of their +5s. So we'll place their first 3 ships. And GT, they're going second, so they'll keep their options open with Grand Temple. They might go through the whirlpool. We'll see. And then Patagonia down there, and then I think Port du Lion is probably going to start right there in the southeast corner. So, all right, and now we get to placing crew, and player 1 goes first. They put Bratley and Robinson face up on Patagonia, Lord Micron face down on Patagonia, face down English crew on Hyena, and they could use their +5s to bring in Hidden Cove to use the Hyena and explore on the first turn. I think between the Isles of Fire and the fact that they're going to use all 5 negative UTs in their distribution, they're not going to, I don't think they're going to try to explore on the first turn. Depending on how this game goes, and if they go first in another game this series, they might change that, but they're going to stick with their default +5s, which are Captain, Explorer, Oarsman, all on Hyena. They're going to stick with that. They're a little, just based on their own distribution, they're a little worried about, they don't want to have Hyena explore and get Plague, or I don't know. They want to keep both of their weapons ready for a turn 2 attack. So that's what they're going to plan for. Now we get to the GT UPS fleet, and they're going to, so they're +5s. They're also, I think they're also going to keep them the same. They've got a face down English Explorer on HMS Grand Temple. They have 3 oarsmen they're bringing in, 1 English to start the game on the core, and then 2 face down, 1 English, 1 French, to start the game at their home island. So, and then they've got 1 more point, which is probably the most debatable point of their +5. They could bring in divers, but they see the enemy fleet doesn't look like much of a gold fleet. Hyena could be a hybrid, but they just saw her get 3 extra crew. So they don't think divers is going to be too useful. Even if GT can sink an enemy ship, there's a chance it might not have gold on it anyway. So they're going to they're gonna bring in Jollymon and just keep their default +5s the same as what you've seen on PSM list potentially if you've looked at the fleets there. It'll be in the description if you want to check out some of the setup tactics behind those fleets. And I think that'll do it. So that's basically the setup. So for coinage, we'll do placing treasure next. And Dragon Fleet, they're going with their default nasty setup. So they've got 3 5s for their required 15, and then they've got Missionary, Savage Natives, Plague, Natives, and Wolves. So just about the nastiest treasure distribution you can come up with. I guess I should think about swapping out Savage Natives for Runes of Death. I don't have that one yet, but I could proxy it. So anyway, so and then the GT UPS fleet, they've got 663. The reason they're not doing 5s is because they've got a +2 ability on core. So theoretically, if they get 2 6s at the first island, and they get +2 on both, they could get 16 with just 2 coins. But you can't do that with 5s, because then your max is 17 or is 14 with 2 coins. So with a +2 bonus anyway. So that's their 15 required treasure, and then they're going all eliminators. So I know the original UPS fleet or GT UPS has like trees and stuff, but they already, based on earlier in the tournament and the fact that this looks like a killer fleet that they're facing, they're just gonna assume that they're gonna get negatives, because they remember their past tournament games and they're anticipating the worst. So they're gonna go with double revealers and double eliminators. So Parada Codex, Karmic Idol to wipe out negatives. Hopefully, they're hoping that the globe and the maps can flip negatives face up first and then just wipe them out, and the Jailhouse Dog as a kind of a contingency option. So those are the coinage, the treasure distribution for each fleet, and put out 4 per island, and then we'll start the finals of T3. Okay, ready to start game 1 of the tournament number 3 finals. Pretty excited. I think this will be an interesting matchup. Both fleets are like just power fleets. We got like UPS with power behind it on the Grand Temple, and then this double action dragon coming in and swooping in. So gonna be interesting. It's pretty different than some of the semi-final or finals matchups in tournament number 2, which were more based on really fast gold collection and the high ping, things like that. So pretty different matchup actually. So all right, this clock, non-ending condition, just to help try to play faster. The right clock is going to be the Northern Fleet, which is player 1, the Dragon Fleet, left for Grand Temple UPS. So without further ado, we'll get going and roll for the Isles of Fire. I'll go clockwise and go basically from west to east. So 1, 2, 3, just rolling for the volcanoes. Okay, so immediately we have a volcanic eruption. So left to right, 1 through 4, to see which one gets knocked out of the game by this lava flow. And a couple 5s so far, another 5, rolling well today. Okay, so this coin is gone. Neither player knows what it is. So I'll roll for this volcano. Nothing there. And then we'll roll for the southeastern one. Nothing. All right. I won't disturb the train too much with the rolls. Alrighty. So now we'll get going. And the enemy fleet might not get actions, because like I said earlier, I don't think I want Haipeng or a Hyena. She could explore. She could get Micron's action and explore somewhere with the Whirlpool, but they stack the field with such negatives that they want to preserve Hyena to attack. And part of the reason for that is if they can attack with both, they have a chance of taking out Grand Temple. They only attack with one of them. They don't have the firepower to sink her. So I think they're going to preserve their combat abilities. Because Hyena has her captain. If she explores and gets hit with Plague, she won't be much of an asset against the Grand Temple. So I think they're going to sit at home. They could go somewhere, but as soon as they leave the home island, they open up the chance for Grand Temple to surge through a Whirlpool and then come out the other end and smash them. So they could, I mean, they could stay safe. They could put Angelica like way up here, but I don't think Angelica wants to go anywhere anyway, because she's unlikely to use a swoop attack, because she'd rather just get right next to a ship and hit it to eliminate cargo. So I think they're gonna stand pat. It's debatable what they should do, but I think they basically want to go second. This fleet doesn't even really love going first, funny enough, but I think they'd be better off preserving their combat capability and just trying to smash GT conclusively on turn 2. So they're going to turn it over, and we're going to roll for these volcanoes again. Once again, clockwise, starting from the west. Nothing there. Second one, I got to roll off to the east a little bit. So nothing on the second one. Okay, nothing there. So GT UPS revs up. Haven't used them in a little while. At least it feels like it's been a while. We're going to play Hidden Cove on Grand Temple. They could Whirlpool, but they're going to Cove because then they can send home 2 coins from this island. And they're not going to be able to dock at a different island this turn, since they're going to redock to explore the first one. So they're going to dock there with Hidden Cove, and then use the first action of the turn, basically move S plus S to redock, and then flip their face down English Explorer, explore the island. I guess they're gonna use the white. Actually, they're already using black. I'm gonna switch the colors real quick. Actually, I should have thought of that beforehand. I'm gonna switch the token colors because I'm using the black die for Angelica because this fleet is more, I don't know, evil. So I guess they're both evil. Maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna use the white tokens and the red die for the GT UPS fleet. I'm just gonna do that now, and then I'll try to preserve that for the whole series. So, all right. So we're gonna explore the island and see what we get. So this could be decisive, potentially. Okay, yeah, it's wow. Oh man. They are in love. This is crazy. So 2 6s, Missionary, and Pirata Codex. So I think they just won. I think they just won the game. So I'll explain. So Codex is going to wipe out the Missionary before it would get applied. So they choose the order in which it's applied, and then they're going to trade the 6s home as, I think it's over. This is crazy. So Pirata Codex says, when revealed, remove all face-up unique treasure from the game. Such unique treasure change the value of a treasure coin. That coin regains its printed value. So, so both would get revealed, and then since they're the exploring player, they choose the order in which they're applied. So, so since they don't want the Missionary, it would kill the crew and delete, it would eliminate Captain Jack Sparrow, which is the whole crux of their winning gameplay. They don't want to deal with it. So they're going to apply the Codex first, which wipes both out of the game. Now they're going to reveal Captain Jack Sparrow and trade home a 6 for the Oarsman, face down English Oarsman on Coeur de Leon. He goes to the island, and they're going to immediately load him via the free transfer rules, flipping him face up so he doesn't take up cargo space. Actually, they won't win because Core won't be able to get +2 on both coins yet. So, I think they'll still win on the second round. So they can win with 2 coins, but I don't think they can win on turn 1. I don't think. I don't think I'm messing it up at all. So anyway, so Core is now going to be given an explore action to explore the home island, revealing Maurice Aristide for +2 gold. So 6 + 2, they have 8 gold now. Core is now going to load another English Oarsman. He's going to put it next to the ship for now. And HMS Grand Temple is now going to redock again. I'm trying to think where she wants to go. I don't think it's going to matter because they can't get to Core. I didn't realize with this Whirlpool here, they can't get to Core with Hyena to ram her on the dragon turn. So I don't think it's, I think this is a foolproof setup. They got the luck of the distribution. This is crazy. It's a perfect island, or almost perfect. Yeah, so they're gonna redock. I don't know. Oh, actually, it does matter because Hyena needs 2 actions to hit Grand Temple. That's a good point. Yeah, I think kill that UPS. They'll probably revise their strategy for the second game because they need 2 microns to hit. Unless Hyena's already in range after 1 turn, which is tough, then they'd be able to, they would only be able to hit Grand Temple with 1 of the ships. Because if Angelica gets Micron to move right next to Grand Temple, Hyena needs 2 actions to come out of her whirlpool shooting. So, so Grand Temple is gonna redock. Yeah, she doesn't want to get, oh, she's gonna get hit either way. So she might as well be in range of another island for next turn. So she's gonna move on the port bow. She's gonna reveal her helmsman and redock right here, and then send this coin to the core. So redocking, so helmsman revealed face up. Captain Jack Sparrow sends the other 6 to the core for the English oarsman, which is gonna go on the island and stay there because she's now full on cargo. Grand Temple, no cargo space is open because that second oarsman would take up space due to the no stacking rule. And now Kawar is not gonna unload because this coin is only worth 6. Well, she can't unload. She's already gotten an action, so she can't. Micron we already used on Grand Temple, so Kawar used her action for the turn, and it's not automatically unloaded, so you have to dock or explore. Don't want to do that, and they don't want to anyway, because then they'd have 14, and with how hard GT is going to get hit on this next round, they don't know if she'd be able to transport any more coins home. So they're going to make sure that that 6 gets plussed up, and then they'll have 16, which would win. So Jollymon gets the final action of the GT turn, and she can't roll lower than a 1, so the reef is irrelevant, and they're going to end their turn just like that, I think. Yeah, so flip Micron, of course, and yeah, I think that's all they can do. So could build a fort, but I don't think it's worth it. It's going to make the game take longer than it needs to. So now the other fleet, they don't know what this coin is, to be fair. They don't know it's a 6. They do see they have 8, and they realize that coin's gonna get plussed up. So ideally, they would hit Kawar right now, but she can't be shot at while docked, of course, at home. Angelica can't hit her, even if she gets right here. And then Hyena, through the whirlpool, let's test it, but I don't think she can reach her. So 1 action to come through, and then let's go like as far as possible southwards. Second action, 3 S's with the helmsman. She can't ram, so she can't get there. She needs a 4th S, and they don't have access to that. They don't have a trade current or a navigator. So, all right. So basically, their best hope is to slam the GT. They might as well hit her with Angelica. Oh, so I'll do Isles of Fire first. So I'm gonna roll north, I think this time, out of the way. So 2, and then this one, nothing. And then there's no coins here. I'm gonna roll on that one. And yeah, Hyena, she could get 2 actions. She could get Micron to explore an island, but then Angelica can't hit Grand Temple at all. So I think they're still gonna, they're gonna hit Grand Temple because they don't know that this is a 6. They can calculate, okay, so they can calculate what it would have to be. It has to be a 6 or higher for them to win because they see that they have 8. So if it's 5 or lower, plus 2 would not be more than half. It would be 15 or less total, even when they unload it. So they want to, I mean, they can't get to Kawar anyway. So if it's a 6 or 7, they're just shit out of luck anyway, and they realize that. So they're just going to make sure, they're going to hope that it's less, and then basically just try to prevent Grand Temple from sending any additional coins home, because then they'd have to rely on like Jollymon to get coins, which this island's already empty, so that's probably not going to happen, even if this game took a while, which it doesn't look like it will. So Angelica is going to fly right here, and then Micron, we're going to flip Micron on the Patagonia and the Dragon Fleet. For Angelica, get a double action. She's going to blow a bunch of fire at the Grand Temple. So I'm going to roll the dice. I think I'm going to roll them all at once because they're probably eliminate cargo with every hit. So she has a 2L, a 3L, and 2 3S's. So similar to the previous series, we're going to go 2L, 3L for the white, and the blacks for 3S's. So all 4 shooting away, going after the Grand Temple. Okay, so a couple hits, a couple 3s hit, and they're going to eliminate cargo with every hit. So enemy is going to take out the 3S cannons on Grand Temple, the first 2, and they'll lose their, let's see, that's a tough one. Yeah, this is where it gets ugly for their fleet. They'll lose an oarsman for sure, and then they'll lose probably the explorer, I guess. They want to, either way, it looks like they wouldn't be able to explore another island next turn. Actually, if they go through, because if they lose the helmsman, I don't think they can get to the whirlpool. Yeah, not with 1 action. So they'll just lose the explorer. They'll preserve their speed. So, and then hyena, get in action. Shows you she might as well go through the whirlpool, get somewhere faster. She might still go here in this area to try to interrupt the UPS stuff. She could go over here, but she might just get hit by Grand Temple. She could go down there to try to explore. They see the writing on the wall, though. They need to even have a remote chance of winning. They got to interrupt this UPS carnage. So they're going to send hyena to the southeast. We can tell it's probably not going to matter, so I'm not going to spend too long on the decision. Whirlpool roll, and she loses something. She'll lose her oarsman, I guess. Yeah, face down oarsman killed in the whirly gig, and I think that's all they can do. So I'll roll for, yeah, that was three full actions. So roll for the volcanoes, starting from the west, nothing, and the north one. The north one loses something. We'll go left to right, 1 through 4. Oh my god. 6, nothing happens. It's hard not to roll on the stuff here. I can go off to the side a little bit, but all right, another coin knocked out of play. I'll try to remember to reveal those at the end. Not that they wouldn't have been relevant anyway, but whatever. Because they don't, the begin's about to end. They never would have explored those islands anyway. So yeah, so GT UPS, they could make a show of it and try to sink the dragon, or kill the dragon, but I'm gonna end it. So core explores the home island. They have got a 6, and it gets plussed up with Aristide. And to kill that UPS's ultimate dismay, they've already lost. So GT UPS wins 16-0 after 2 rounds, and they win game 1. So pretty intense dominant victory. So with some important lessons for game 2. Now this is big because kill that UPS, they know they only put in 5s. So they see that the enemy is putting in 6s. And so they can win with only 2 coins unloaded, because if they both get plussed up. So that might affect, if they go first again, they might have hyena explore an island. Because they didn't know how good this island would be too. With 5 negative UTs, it seems like it'd be tough to explore almost any islands without getting hit. But of course the Codex took out the Missionary. And yeah, the GT UPS fleet, they had a ton of luck. The terrain roll didn't really matter, but yeah, they basically got the distribution. This is kind of the theme I've been seeing a lot in this tournament is if a fleet gets lucky enough with the treasure distribution, they basically just win the game. So the unique treasures play such a huge role. Because if that Codex wasn't there, the Missionary would have killed Captain Jack Sparrow, and then they'd be facing an uphill battle to get enough gold home. And they got lucky with the 6s. That was clutch, because that's their optimal way to win, is with just 2 coins, and they got both 6s that they contributed at the first island they explored. So they loved that island. They included that eliminator to take out the Missionary. So they played a hunch that they'd probably be facing some negatives, especially because they faced another dragon fleet earlier in the tournament, and then they faced some negatives in the sacking treasure traders fleet last round. So so they came ready with their eliminators, and that knocked out the Missionary. And then core only needs a couple actions to unload their goodies. So So yeah, pretty dominant victory, but this gives some information to kill that UPS. They learn about the other fleet a bit, and GT UPS, of course, they learn about the enemy fleet, of course, seeing the Missionary. That kind of confirms what they were already kind of expecting, seeing the Dragon and the enemy fleet, that they'll probably be facing some negatives. To be fair, no other coins were revealed, only those 4 from that initial island. So I'm going to show you what was destroyed in the volcanic eruptions, but I'm going to preface it by saying this is not revealed to either fleet. So we're going to look at them as the audience just for kicks, and then but they remain hidden to the fleets for the purposes of like keeping their distributions a secret that were not revealed, because only 1 island was explored. So a couple 5s. Okay, wow. So there was only 20 gold in play at that point anyway, because that's 10 out of the 30. So both coins were contributed by the kill that UPS fleet. So okay, cool. So that's game 1, pretty quick, and stay tuned. We'll see game 2 of this series kick off soon, and this is only 1, of course, out of the best of 5. So GT UPS needs to win at least 2 more games to win the tournament. So Dragon fleet still has plenty of time to catch back up. So pretty cool game, pretty interesting, and I think I kind of prefer when the gameplay takes longer than the setup. But oh well, sometimes it just happens where 1 island is enough for 1 fleet to win, especially when you got a UPS fleet that's trying to win with 2 coins. It's kind of, if they get what they want, sometimes the game will just take less time than the island and terrain setup and everything. So that's game 1. Stay tuned for game 2. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you want to support the channel, and my site Pirates of Ben, where I post battle reports for pretty much every Pirates game I play, along with a ton of other information about the game. If you want to support that, you can check out the affiliate links to eBay and whatnot in the description. And